Um, Today I wanted to let you in on one of my happy memories. Um, it happened a long, long time ago in Chardon, Ohio. And I got to go trick-or-treating with my two cousins, Andrew and Justin. And before I went, I called up my Aunt Holly, and I asked if it's okay if I dress up. Though, and she was like, well, it doesn't bother me, it's Halloween, do what you want. And my Aunt Holly, she knows that I feel that I enjoy wearing women's clothes. I can't even say that, I feel more comfortable, because at that time, even though I do, that's not the way I explained it to her. But, and the way she figured this out, this is a totally another story, and then we have to, okay, so how she found out that I enjoy wearing women's clothes is, several years even earlier, I was underage. I think I was 18 at the time. We were over at my Aunt Angie's house, and everyone was drinking, having a good time, which is normal. And eventually most of the people either went to bed or passed out from alcohol consumption. So I was still awake, and my Aunt Holly was still awake. And she told me that, she would stay up if I would stay up and we could watch the sunrise. And I was like, okay, because I really wanted to talk to her about how I was feeling about this whole thing. So I told her that I enjoy wearing women's clothes. And I was expecting this huge, huge reaction. She was like, oh, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. Okay. So, you enjoy cross-dressing? Yeah. Do you want to be a woman? No. Well, why would you think that? Why would you say that? I mean, no, I don't want to. Just, yeah, I do. I mean, no. So I didn't tell her that I wanted to be a woman. So that's how she found out that I enjoyed dressing like me. So now, once again, we fast forward a couple years to this Halloween that I was referring to. By this time, Andrew and Justin are around, and they're about 4 or 5 years old, maybe even a little bit older. By the way, they're twins, and they're so adorable. They are, and they're nothing alike either. But I came over, and I dressed up, and thought I was looking pretty good. And we went trick-or-treating, so we went across the parking lot into one of the other apartment complexes, and all the hallways for the apartments were all done up. They had spider webs and black lights, and they were looking all spooky. And, I said trick-or-treat. And this one woman was like, You're a guy. I thought you were a woman until I heard your voice. I'm like, I just didn't open my mouth. But still, so it was a good day. And Holly's boyfriend, Jeff, this is her second Jeff, not the first Jeff. I like the second model much better. He's really cool. But he was like, Senorita. I was like, oh, a compliment. Thank you. And I felt very nice, so it was a good day for me. And then, later that night, Christopher, one of Aunt Holly's nephews, came over. So, I opened up the door, and I let Christopher in. And then I hurried up and walked over to where Andrew and Justin were playing, and I decided to play with them. Because I was feeling a little nervous because Chris never saw me dressed like me. So I was preoccupying myself by just focusing on something else. That way I couldn't focus on how afraid I was. Not that Chris would do anything to harm me or anything, but I was just feeling very, very nervous. So, I don't remember if it was my Auntie H or Chris, the fur that happened to have mentioned. He looks very natural. And I kind of remember hearing that, and I was like, I feel natural. I felt at peace with myself that night. I felt very comfortable being dressed that way, and it made me happy. So, it was a good night, and it was a very good memory for me. And I don't know how much Andrew and Justin have grown up, but I'm sure they've sprouted up like weeds. I mean, that was at least 4 or 5 years ago. And it was cool to get to be myself around my Auntie H and my 2 little cousins. I was the one that gave her the name Auntie H, by the way. Because she was just too cool to like be my Aunt Holly. She had to have some really cool name. So I called her Auntie H, and then eventually it caught on, and then all the other nieces and nephews started calling her Auntie H. Kind of really took my thunder. But it was a good night for me. So this is one of my memories from my head, and I'm glad I got to share it with all of you. So, this is Ari Lynn Fails saying thank you and goodbye.